Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Not sure if you can, so we'll get that fixed here in just a moment. You change this setting here so I can. I'm unsure which way this works. So, sorry we didn't quite catch qualifying here tonight. Normally we do. We're on race number what here tonight? Race number 5 of the season. There we go. Race 5 of season 4. Here at Auto Club Speedway, James the Weapon out there. Sitting third fastest as Wetland lay down a nice heater of a lap. 12:21.944 here in warm-ups. Kevin Baker back here in the 78. Hey, watch him head here into the corner. You're on board here with Kevin Baker out of Rochester, New Hampshire. Kyle Bird sitting here in the pits. Kevin Baker. Robert McRae in the pits. Jeremy James. Joseph Spillman. Shay Tarleton all sitting in the pits. Warm-up's coming to an end. Your starting grid. Gonna be William Gay out there in front with Joseph Spillman there in second. Wonderful. That just went away on me. Give me a moment here. I lost the grid on my end. So, it's looking like we have them rolling off here. Joseph Spillman starting second with William Gay on pole. Trying to see beyond that. We got Ryan Peters in third. Michael Sheffield there fourth. Fifth, PJ Wetland. Kevin Baker there in sixth. Jacob Wilson seventh. Nigel Steele there eighth. Kyle Bird's going to roll off here in ninth with Shay Tarleton rolling off in 10th. Mark Cyphers there in 11th with Perry Harrington there in 12th. 13th, going to start Robert McRae with Jeremy James in 14th. The 888 of James White's going to start in 15th with Sage Greco there in 16th. 17th going to be Chase Miller and Mark Ossier there in 18th. That is your starting grid here tonight. Hey, driver headed on out here. Great start here so far. Get it around here to bring out the green flag. Green flag in the air. Here we go. They're down and away, coming here through the front stretch. I just already possibly wanting to go 3 wide there as the 6. There, Shea Charlton looked to the outside, did not do so. Right there against the bumper of the 8 of Nigel Skilly. Now he'll go to the outside through turn 1 and 2 here at Auto Club down there through the back straightaway. And there's plenty of room to go about going that wide here. Hey, drivers work down that back stretch side by side. You see that one of Jacob Wilson down there on that inside line. Trying to see if he's got anything there. They work there through turn 3 and 4. The 49, Kyle Bird there in 11th. I see them all shuffle through the field right now. Working there off of turn number 2. I'm sorry, turn number 4 down through the front straightaway. I work down here off of 2 now. Down through the back straightaway once again, and that fog laying heavy here tonight. All right, watching the 3 wide. There goes Jacob Wilson on the inside lane. 3 wide there in the corner number 3. I watch Nigel Skilly here with Shea Charlton as they work here off the corner. Looking back here now. And Nigel Skilly is running 10th. Shea Charlton there in the 6th. I'm sorry, in the 6th. Currently running in 9th. Yeah, it's 50 laps the distance here tonight. Rolling down here in the corner number 3 and 4. 3 wide down there on the inside is the 17 there of Sage Greco working his way up through the field. Already up 6 spots where he started. Made the start in the back from finishing so well last week. There you see him rolling down there through off the corner. Yeah, I see we got an echo once again. Let's see if I can clear that up. Side by side there, you see Sage Greco working up here in 9th position now. Coming around the 00 Mark Cyphers. Michael Sheffield there in the 31. Now you watch come through here on the front straightaway down there in the corner number 1. Greco down there on the inside. There you see Chase Zillick rolling up there behind him. He's rolling up through the field as well. And you watch them down there in the corner number 3, corner number 4. I work here up off the corner. Charlton down there on pit road. In that number 6 machine. Chase Zilla up there against the outside, looking to go up above the 5 of Brian Peters. Sage Greco, he's gone so up there in the 7th already. I work down here in the corner number 3. There comes the 00 of Mark Cyphers down there on the bottom side below the 5 of Brian Peters. This Chase Zilla gets up here, and into the outside wall a little bit. Down through the front straightaway, there comes the 96 of Perry Harrington up through. Now watch him drop through the field here. Now work there off the corner. Perry Harrington there in 8th, Ryan Peters there in 9th, Chase Zilla 10th. Your race leader, William Gay, out there in front. They head on out here through the front straightaway in the corner number 1 they go. Work there off the corner. There is Chase Zilla going underneath the 96 right now. Perry Harrington. Roll off the corner. Sheffield there in a 5th right now. In that number 31. Now up to 4th. Grego now up there in the 5th. Grabbing a hold of that top 5. Hey, watch that scoreboard there on the left side of your screen. William Gay still stays out front there by about 2 seconds. Spillman there in 3rd. They want to roll down that back stretch here in the corner, number 3. Chase Zilla underneath the 96 of Perry Harrington with Kevin Baker up there on the outside with the 3 there. Now PJ Wentland rolling there not too far in front of them as they come here off of 4. Back around here onto the front straightaway. You got the 5 there. Ryan Peters sitting in 9th. Drop back about 5 positions from where he started. Kevin Baker also fell back about 7 positions. Shea Tarleton also fell back about 8. Kyle Bird also fell back about 8 positions. He's back here at the back and at number 49, Miller Light Machine. They want them there off of corner number 4, back around here onto the front stretch. They roll down there off of the corner with a 96 there, not too far behind Chase Zilla. Mark Cyphers there in 10th. Nigel Steele there in 11th, rolling down the back straightaway. There, that number 1 up there on the outside for the no-names. Wilson there in 6th. Sage Grego up there in the 2nd. Chasing down William Gay. Already got it under 2 seconds. Climbing to a 2.5 seconds. They work down through the back stretch there in the corner number 3. Up to turn 4. Sage Grego up there on that outside lane. There you see Sheffield there in the number 31. There you got 13 of 50 laps here on the board. Spillman now up there in the 4th once again. Still battling with Ryan Peters for that position. There you see Ryan Peters gets around him down there on the inside. Here comes Jacob Wilson as well. Jacob Wilson looking to have pit spot over the top of Spillman, which he will get around him. Chase Zilla, he's still working through the pack. They're in the middle through turns 3 and 4. Back out onto the front stretch here. As Sage Grego works out of the front stretch. Down there into corner number 1. And around here onto the back stretch. Michael Sheffield running 3rd. Ryan Peters there in 4th. Under a second now between Gay and Grego. And you see Grego working down the backstretch. There in the number 17. Off the corner they go down there on the bottom side. William Gay up there in the front. And Michael Sheffield's there in 3rd. Off the corner, down through the front straightaway. As they head on out here in the 1 and 2. Down there to the inside goes Grego. Less than a 10th behind them. Gonna make the pass here coming out of 2. Or at least get set up coming down the back straightaway. He is there. Now we'll see what he does coming here in the corner number 3. That's 17. Zen Machine looks to the inside of William Gay down there in the corner number 3 and 4. As they roll there off of corner number 4. Sage Greco is there. William Gay is going to lead another lap, though. As Sage Greco is there, right there against them. Back here in this group, almost 4 wide as they head here in the corner number 1. You got the 8 there, the 8 of Nigel Steele backing out of it just a little bit to let them drivers have a little bit more room to maneuver down there through turns 1 and 2. Now you can definitely get 4 drivers across here without much issue. Look out, Chase Zilla all over the racetrack there. And they roll down there through turn 3 and 4. The 31, Mike Sheffield, going to roll up there on the back of Sage Greco now. Sage Greco's right there behind him. Not too far in front of them is going to be that 78, number 6 is Shea Tarleton. And they roll down here in the corner number 1 yet again. As caution flag comes out, Chase Zilla off track. Problems there for Chase as he rolls through there. Unsure exactly what happened to him. We'll see, though, as we take a look at the on-the-pole instant replay. Yeah, he rolled through here. You'll see him there. Just get tapped there by, trying to see who that is. That... The 117 of Mark Ossier. I don't know if that was necessarily Ossier's fault. See if we can get a different angle at it here. See if we can get a different angle here from up above on top a little bit. There we go. You see Chase comes down and gets into the 117. I'd say that's more on Chase there. As the 117 was pretty much holding his lane there. As you can see right there, as Chase looks to go to the inside of Wetland. And just not enough room to clear down there on the inside. So Chase Zilla going around there across the nose of the 117 of Mark Ossier. Now, I would assume, being this close to halfway, we're going to see them all come in for pit stops. So we'll see if pit road becomes busy. Here's the 75 of William Gay is out there in the front. And here they come out of turn 4. There they go, coming down across that dotted line down there in the pit road. Everybody's coming in. Does not look like we got any takers staying out. Shea Tarleton does stay out. Kevin Baker not in this one anymore. Kyle Bird on pit road. So Kyle Baker is out. As you see that line of cars rolling down pit lane. Shea Tarleton stays out. Gonna get at least one lap back here. Now Tarleton one lap down again. I see them all down here on pit road getting work done. We got Tarleton coming there out of turn number 4. He pitted at lap 5. He'll bring it in this time. They Chuck Gay and all them work there off of pit road. Perry Harrington still on pit road. Chase Dawes still on pit road. Tarleton pulling into his pit. Going to get exciting here. Ryan Peters down there in 5th position. Jacob Rosen there 6th. Mark Cyphers there in 7th. Nigel Steele there in 8th. PJ Wentler 9th. Jeremy James in 10th. Harrington, Chase Dillon, and Tarleton still there on pit road, as you see there on the bottom of your screen. And their names stay there until it hits 120, I believe, on the counter. Harrington coming out. Chase Zilla coming out. Tarleton coming out. So Tarleton's still down one lap. Back here in 17th. They watch them come here out of turn number 1. Yeah, heading into 2. They're side by side. They're all lined up, ready to go. So Chase Zilla and Tarleton got to hustle it around the racetrack. Harrington, I think, got to hustle around as well. They're coming there out of turn 2. Ossier up there. Harrington coming there through 1 and 2. Chase Zilla working there through 1 and 2. Shay Tarleton working through 1 and 2. And here comes Chase Zilla. Working back here in 16th. And roll on down the backstretch here. There you see him rolling out of the corner. Harry Harrington's caught up to the field. Chase Zilla still trying to do so. Shay Tarleton almost caught up. But probably has to wait for Chase to pass him, so he don't want to get too close there. There we go. Chase is getting caught up now, coming there out of turn 4. But they have to check up down there on the inside lane. They're ready to go green. As the flag drops here, coming through the front straightaway. Sage Greco there on the inside. William Gay on the outside. And they get in line up there on the top side. Coming down there in the corner number 1. Greco down there on the inside. Gonna try to get underneath Gay here early in this one. And he got Spillman right there behind him. Can't quite get there as of yet. Everybody keeps it on rolling down there in the corner number 3. There you're looking at Ryan Peters in that number 5 as they rolling on through off of corner number 4. Up across the start-finish line. Spillman up there against that outside wall. You got the one of Jacob Wilson up there as well. Sage Greco still up there battling for that front spot. But as Joseph Spillman, what a night for Spillman here in that 3rd spot. As they head off down here off the corner number 2. Down that back straightaway. 29 laps to go here at Auto Club. Hey, watch that number 1. No Name Machine. Down there on the inside. Trying to work their way up. He's in 3rd now. As the No Names, number 1 continues on down that inside lane. Trying to get around Spillman for that 3rd spot. Spillman, though, hanging tough on the outside. Here comes the 31 of Michael Sheffield down there on the inside. Just trying to close the gap there a little bit. Greco there in 2nd. William Gay has put a little bit of gap between him and Greco. But it's still sitting only at about a half a second between William Gay and Sage Greco. Joseph Spillman's there in 3rd. Chase Zilla back there in the back. James the Weapon back here as well. Shay Tarleton working on trying just to keep that where he is. And work there off the corner. Greco still 2nd with Spillman there 3rd. Wilson there in 4th with Michael Sheffield in 5th with Ryan Peters back here in 6th right now. There you see the 00s. Mark Cyphers working on the inside of Nigel Stilley in the 8th. As they work there in the corner number 3 and 4. Looking to try to get underneath Ryan Peters now. Is that 00 of Mark Cyphers? Does get there. What do they do? Coming here off the corner. Up there across the start-finish line. It is William Gay out there in front with Sage Greco 2nd. Joseph Spillman 3rd. Jacob Wilson 4th. Michael Sheffield back here in 5th. And Ryan Peters back here in 6th. They keep it on rolling down here. Off of turn number 2. Sheffield and Peters going at it. I'm sorry, not Sheffield, but Cypress and, well, Steely's there now going against Cypress. As Cypress tries to get back underneath the 5, can't quite get there. There you see PJ Wetland rolling up through the field. There in the 3 machine, getting underneath the 221 of Jeremy James. Perry Harrington back here in 11th. Mark Ossier back here. He's sitting in about 12th right now. As Kyle Burns back here in 13th. Wilson still sitting there. Wilson sitting there in 5th. And Steely there with them. No, I'm sorry, not Steely. Cypress there. Oh. Cypress and Peters still battling it out. Sheffield and Wilson battling it out. Daisy Sheffield underneath Jacob there. They work there out of turn 4. Back around through the front stretch. Spillman doing a great job here tonight, as we said. Sitting there in 3rd. Sage Greco in 2nd. William Gay still hangs on to that lead with 24 laps to go. One of Sage Greco kind of did a little bit of guesswork there at the end of last stage. Or at the ending of that previous run before that caution came out. Just to see how hard he could push it. He's lost another 10th to William Gay, our leader. Just Spillman's there in 3rd with Michael Sheffield there in 4th. And a new name, number 1 of Jacob Wilson, sitting there in 5th as they head on out here. Down in through off of 2 on the backstretch now with Spillman up there in 3rd, but has company of Sheffield right there behind him. Sheffield out of Emporia, Virginia, looking to the inside of Spillman here as they work down into the corner of 3 and 4. Spillman out there as you watch him come off the corner. You got the 00 there. Jacob Wilson out there in 5th. Definitely got a little bit of fog here coming out of turn number 4. There we have Overcast. William Gates out front. Greco there 2nd. Sheffield now getting over top of Spillman here, working on that inside. Spillman drops back there in the 4th. Jacob Wilson now sets his sights on Spillman, working down there on the backstretch. Here comes Wilson looking to the inside, possibly through 3 and 4. Now as you watch him roll there off the corner, on the corner number 4 onto the front stretch. William Gay out there in front, 22 laps to go. Sage Grego out there 2nd. Michael Sheffield, as we said, in 3rd now. With Wilson now up there in the 4th. Spillman there in 5th. And Cypress back here in 6th. But Ryan, they bring it on out there through the backstretch. Steely there as well, trying to work his way up there through. And you got the 117. Mark Ossio working his way underneath the 221 of Jeremy James. Working there through 3 and 4. As Gay's out front. And the number 75 with Sage Greco there behind him. He's closed the gap a little bit there as you see Sheffield now coming up there through off of turn number 2. Wilson there in 4th. Spillman there 5th. Ryan Peters there in 6th. That gap is closed now there at Greco with 20 laps to go. As Greco gets down there on that inside line, Gay holds the outside line. Working there off of 4. Greco's going to pull up there behind him. Down here through the front straightaway. Chase Zilla off track again, along with Robert McRae. Caution is out. That'll help Tarleton, as Tarleton's the only one a lap down. So hold on here, the 803 there. Real tight racing. We'll back it up here. We'll get another shot here. Go with our drone here. Well, we'll see. There we go. There's a better shot here. Come there off of corner number 2. You'll see there, the 803 ends up getting into the 49 and then gets looped down across the nose of Chase Zilla. And sends him spinning around. Chase Zilla into 26. Has to kind of come down there off the throttle. And back here toward the back, sitting 15th rate at the moment. So Chase Zilla, unfortunately involved in another one here tonight. Up there along the outside wall. As you see Robert McRae there. Jay Charlton there in the 6. He should be our free pass car. Chase car looks all right there. If you're catching any of that radio chatter we got going on in the background so we can understand what's going on with the drivers, I thought I had that turned down. Now we got some drivers coming to pit road. Ryan Peters going to stay out there. Perry Harrington's going to stay out. Shea Charlton, he's going to stay out to get a lap back. Hey, look down there to the inside. Getting up there, he's going to get his lap back right here. We got drivers coming in for another set of tires and things. Right sides there on Sheffield. We'll see if he takes lefts. He will take lefts. You see them all down there getting that fresh set of Goodyears on there. Now William Gay is here in fourth. James a Weapon up there in the 3rd with a great pit stop. Or no, I'm sorry, James the Weapon did not pit. So James the Weapon, Perry Harrington, and Ryan Peters not pitting. Shea Charlton on pit road though. Why is he stopped where he is? Okay, there it goes. I don't know why he was stopped where he was. Kind of made no sense to me. Charlton will go and get his tires and that. And then he'll have to boogie back around here. They want him to work here off turn number 2. I'm sorry, they're coming through the front stretch. Shea Charlton coming out of turn number 2. Chase Zilla on pit road. They come around here. Chase isn't going to beat him out. So Chase Zilla down a lap. We're under our second caution here of the night. Ryan Peters out there in front with Perry Harrington there in second. James the Weapon in 3rd. William Gay in 4th up there on that outside lane. Ryan Peters up there in front. Perry Harrington there in 2nd. James the Weapon there in 3rd. William Gay there in 4th. Sage Greco 5th. As they roll off here in through corner 4. Fred will pull that pace car off. We'll be back. Green flag racing right here I thank everybody for tuning in here to FFTV on the pole here tonight. Here for the FMA Xfinity Series, and then rolling on out here. Down in the corner, number 1. As you're headed on out here through turn number 1 and 2. Back out there through onto the backstretch. Everybody hanging out there so far. Great job. And we're off. There goes Greco to the inside. Trying to get up there. William Gay back out to the lead. As Greco fights to get into third. And down here through off of 2. There you see Greco still trying to battle with Peters coming there off the corner. As you work there off of the corner. There you go. Across the start-finish line. As Greco gets there in the second. Sheffield now in the third. Jacob Wilson in fourth. Nigel Stilley down there in fifth. As Ryan Peters is falling back a little bit. There comes Spillman back up through. As William Gay back to the lead with 13 laps to go. With St. Greco chasing them down here in second. Sheffield, as we said, sitting third. Jacob Wilson there fourth. There you see Nigel Stilley there in fifth. Spillman there in sixth. Chase Zilla thinking he's parked here for the night. Now they come there out of corner number 4. Down across the stripe in the 1. William Gay still your leader. Now you watch the pack roll through turn number 2. On to the backstretch. You see the 117 of Mark Oscar there. He's up 10 positions from where he started tonight. Currently sitting there in 8th. As they roll down through the backstretch there to his outside, up there to the corner. That's Jeremy James in the 221. Yeah, you watch him roll there off of turn 4. The 00 there, Mark Cyphers looking to the inside of Shea Tarleton. Tarleton now up there in the 9th. Now that he's got those 2 laps back, looking pretty good as he's in the top 10. Trying to get up there and battle with Ossier now. Now you watch him roll through turn 1 and 2 onto that backstretch. There's Cyphers down there on the inside. Getting around the 6. As Greco still hangs on to second, but he's got Sheffield right there behind him. In that third spot, looking to his outside. Can't quite get there yet. Now they battle it off the corner down here across the stripe. 11 laps to go with William Gay out there in front. Sage Greco there second. Michael Sheffield there third. Jacob Wilson there fourth with Nigel Stilley fifth. Jeremy James sitting sixth with Joseph Spillman in 7th. Mark Ossier there in 8th with Mark Cyphers there in 10th. Shea Tarleton in 10th as P.J. Whitland's there in 11th. Kyle Bird 12th. Ryan Peters there 13th. Robert McRae 14th with James the Weapon there in 15th with Perry Harrington there in 16th. Chase Zilla on pit road and Kevin Baker out. As he William Gay there out front leading the way. As they come out of the corner, Spillman there under fire behind him. As he's got Mark Ossier and Jeremy James battling side by side. Down there through the front stretch into corner number 1. 9 laps to go here at Auto Club. As Mark Ossier is looking to get to the inside of Joseph Spillman. Can't quite get there. As they roll side by side there off of corner number 2. Shea Tarleton there in 10th. What a great job he's had so far here after getting those lap back. Hanging tough in there. There behind him is that P.J. Wentland in that number 3. Looking to the inside there. Shea Tarleton falls back to 11th. Mark Cyphers there in 9th with Jeremy James in the 221. sitting there currently 8th. Now they're bringing on back down through the front stretch, 8 laps to go. As Sage Greco now falls to 3rd, as Sheffield gets around them down here through 1 and 2. Sage Greco just trying to hang tough, not wanting to really burn too much stuff up, hanging there right on the bumper of Sheffield as they roll there in the corner number 3. William Gay is out front in that 75. Working down through off of 4, down across the front straightaway. You see that number 1, the no-name, number 1 of Jacob Wilson, working down through the front stretch here in the corner number 1. Trying to not lose sight of the leaders there in front of him. Nigel Steele back here in a 5th. Mark Ossier back here in 6th. Spillman there 7th. Mark Cyphers back here in 8th. Jeremy James 9th. PJ Wetland there in 10th. As they rolling on out here down in the corner number 3 and 4. Sheffield there in 2nd with Greco there 3rd. Jacob Wilson in 4th. Nigel Steele there in a 5th. And they work up off the corner. Down through the front straightaway, coming here to the strike. On the bottom now, here they go. You got the one there of Jacob Wilson there in 4th. With Sage Greco 3rd. William Gay out in the front, and they work it off of 2. With Sage Greco, look out. Brand new leader coming as Sheffield's looking to the inside. Greco there as well. Things are heating up here in the front. As we get down here within just a few laps to go. As you see Sheffield working hard there. Gay on the outside as they come up off the corner. Greco is there and unsure who he wants to follow. As they work down here to the stripe, it's going to be... man, too close to call for me, but the timing sheet's saying Gay had the lead possibly coming across the line there. But it's really tough there as Sheffield's working down there on that inside lane, getting around there, going up there, and gets in front of William Gay. Michael Sheffield to the lead down there through the backstretch. In the corner, number 3 and 4. Here comes Gay back to the inside as Greco's there in a 3rd. As they work there off of corner number 4, side by side. Coming to 4 laps to go. Greco and Gay now battle it out for 2nd spot as they roll down here to the stripe. Greco down there to the inside. That's now 4 laps to go here in the corner number 1. Greco down there on the inside trying to get underneath of Sheffield, who's currently your leader. Sheffield hanging tough down there now as they work off the corner. Here comes Gay now once again. He's getting up there to the bumper of Greco. Might be falling off a little bit there for William Gay. Unsure there. We'll see how he takes this corner. He closes that gap right back up. Down there across that inside line. Coming there off turn 4. Slides it up. Coming off. Keep it off the wall as Greco is there. Sheffield out there in the front. Now 3 laps to go. Greco to the outside here coming into corner number 1. Sheffield down there on the inside. Here comes Gay. He's going to shoot it in even lower here. As these 3 battle it out real hard up here for your front spots. As Sheffield's down there on the inside. But it looks like Greco's got a little bit of a run on the outside lane. As he does, he got him cleared coming down there in the corner number 2. Or coming down here in the corner number 3. Sheffield now there in 2nd. As Greco is out front coming here to 2 to go. Caution is out. Ryan Peters around. Up there on the backstretch with the 803 of Robert McRae. Green-white caution coming up. They want him there off the corner. And the 803 comes down and just collects the 5. Unsure exactly why the 803 decided he needed to come down the racetrack like that. But here you'll see it. He's up there on the right side. The 5 of Ryan Peters down there against the line. Here comes the 803 sliding down the racetrack and just comes right down across and right into the back quarter panel of the 5, sending them up into the outside wall. That's on the 803, taking the 5 around. Not exactly sure why he chose to do that. It didn't look like he was loose or nothing. We'll go on board with the 803 here. Maybe that'll give us a little bit of insight to what's going on here. But I just don't think. There we go. We got it on board here. Now you see the 803 there. You see him. He's turning down the entire way through the corner. Ryan Peters on pit road. Perry Harrington and a few other drivers taking this time to come on the pit road. Sage Greco's out there in the lead. Michael Sheffield second. William Gay there third. These 3 drivers up here at the front have really been putting on a show these last few laps. Ramrod Auto Sports there for William Gay. Out of Upgood, North Carolina. On their 3rd caution here. When we go green, it's going to be a green-white checker to finish this one out. They will, and they're important. Nigel Stilley 5th. Mark Ossier there in 6th. Joseph Spillman there 7th. PJ Wendland in 8th. Shea Charlton there in 9th. Mark Cyphers there in 10th. If they go and get lined up here this time by. Hope everybody enjoys the action here on the pole. Yeah, we get it rolling down here on the corner. As you see, Greco's going to go to the outside. He wants that outside lane to start. As the lights go off. The lights are out. We're going to be going back green flag racing next time by. Make sure you have those belts tight, those steering wheels locked. Perry Harrington, James the Weapon, and Robert McRae all pitting that lap. Or that caution. Bagger at the back. Hopefully going to try to gain a little bit of position there. As they come down here, down that back straightaway. Drag them there out of turn 4. Pace car is going to pull off. They're going to go and get ready for that drop of the flag. Chevy Ford, Chevy Ford, that is your top 5. Green flag out, here we go, down and away into corner number 1. As they go on down here, as you see Greco out there in front, Sheffield on the inside. There comes that one of Jacob Wilson. He got a great start on that restart as he looks to the inside of Sage Greco coming there out of turn number 2. 2 laps to go here as they come down that back straightaway. Jacob Wilson there in second, Greco there in front. Michael Sheffield hangs on to third with William Gay back here in fourth. Man, what a jump there from Jacob Wilson to get up there and battle it out here at the ending of this one as they come down there off the corner. Coming there to the white flag last time around as we have problems back here. Filming going around. The 49 involved, the 6 of Tarts was involved. Kyle Bird involved. James the Weapon there in the 888. Doesn't look too bad there. As they come down there across, down the backstretch. Hey, Jacob Wilson there second. Sheffield there in a third. Greco out there in the front. And they come there off of turn number 4. Here comes Wilson. Not enough, though. As they come there off of 4, Greco will be your winner here at Auto Club for the FMA Xfinity Series with Jacob Wilson there in second. Michael Sheffield in third tonight. Moving William Gay back here in the fourth. Harry Harrington got himself up there in the fifth. Great move up through the field there at the ending of that one. He had a set of good tires there at the ending. As Greco is out there in front as your winner. Jacob Wilson, as we said, in second. The results come in here. Here it is. As you see, Sage Greco getting the win. Jacob Wilson second. Michael Sheffield third. William Gay fourth. Perry Harrington there in fifth. Nigel Steele there sixth. Mark Odsier seventh. Mark Cypher is there eighth. James White ninth. Jeremy James there in 10th. Robert McRae there in 11th. Kyle Bird there 12th. Joseph Spillman there 13th. PJ Wetland 14th. Shea Tarleton 15th. Brian Peters there 16th. Chase Silla in 17th. 18th tonight going to be Kevin Barker. As you see there, Sage Greco burning it down. They're on the front stretch. Well-deserved win there for Sage Greco. Getting that win here tonight. We'll see. We'll get with your top 3 drivers here momentarily. All right, here we go. Now let's get with Michael Sheffield, hopefully. Good evening there, Michael. How's it going? You there, Michael?
Yep, I'm here. You got me?
Yeah, we got you. Man, what a race there tonight.
Oh, yeah, that was a blast.
Well, you had the lead for maybe a moment or two.
Yeah, it was a tight race there up towards the front. You know, Sage and William. It was just it was a good battle there for a while. The restarts, the car was just hard to get on the gas. It was just hard turn to the right.
Well, you did a great job. I know I'm not sure exactly how the tire wear affected the ending there, but man, you guys did an exceptional job trying to keep those cars going in the correct direction here tonight.
Oh yeah, tires were a little bit hard on if they were green. We get it kind of loose the first couple of laps, and the car would get a little tight in some parts of the corner and a little loose in the other. So it was definitely fun.
It looked like you guys had a blast up there, and you guys definitely had a tight race up there at the front. You got any sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that third-place podium here tonight?
Well, I definitely want to thank these guys here. They've got a good group here. It's fun to come over here and race. You know, they race many nights a week, and it's always fun. So I just want to thank those guys, and thank you for broadcasting this.
Oh, our pleasure here, most definitely, to bring it to you. And it's definitely a fun one to go back and watch tonight, that's for sure.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night there, Mike, and we'll see you in the next FMA race.
All right, you two have a good one.
All right, out with Michael Sheffield. Now we'll get with Jacob Wilson. Good evening here, Jacob. How's it going?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Man, what a restart you had there for that green-white checker.
Yeah, we fired off really good there on the older tires. I was a little worried because even earlier in the race, it seemed a little sketchy on restarts and starts. So I was a little worried that we might get really bad wheel spin, but it gripped up, and we were able to slot right in line in second place. And I thought we might have a little bit for Sage, but he was really on rails tonight, and I was probably easily a top 5 car, but I'm pretty proud of getting pulling away with second place tonight.
So you weren't. So you're pretty stoked that you got yourself a second place podium here tonight with this stacked up field here of competition.
Yes, sir. They're definitely not easy to get the podiums. I've been close a bunch of times. I've nabbed a couple. We got a win. Back at Nashville at the end of last season. So it's definitely not a walk in the park. Showing up to these FMA races, you have to work hard and be pretty perfect. I made a little bit of a mistake earlier in that first round. I did get up in the wall. Just overshot, went into running the high side, and you really didn't damage the car, but definitely lost my momentum. So, it may have been a little bit different if I was able to, slot. I think that was the battle for second at the time. If we could have slotted in right there earlier in the race, maybe we had a little bit more of a chance to, have the track position. But it was hard with the draft. If you lost kind of that lead draft, it was hard to really make up any time. So I was kind of glad to see the caution there at the end, because I was catching those guys because they were running 3 wide, and I'm sure you were seeing that on the broadcast, and they had a pretty good battle for first there for a long time, and I was running them back down some, but I don't think it was going to be enough to get a podium if we wouldn't have had that caution at the end.
Yeah, definitely gave some new life there to a few drivers. I know Perry Harrington, he's pretty happy that caution come out, because he was able to move his spot clear up in the 5th with saving a set of tires there at the end.
Yeah, I really considered not pitting when we had that I guess it was the second caution. I guess it was about 15 to go when we restarted. I really had considered staying out, but I had played that strategy at Chicagoland when we ran there last season, and it kind of bit me. And I didn't want to be stuck on old tires if we didn't get any more cautions the rest of the race, because we over here in FMA there usually aren't very many cautions, which is nice, but it was it's a big risk if you do not take tires, or you take tires, and so I just kind of played it safe, and it paid off tonight, because we didn't have that many laps to go when we got the last caution, and there was enough people on the same strategy as us that the people with the new tires, it was just too many cars to pass in such a little time to do that. So it worked out tonight, but I did consider playing that same strategy.
Well, it definitely worked out. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody want to thank for getting second place podium here tonight?
Yes, sir. I want to thank the No Names, T-Parm Transportation, Floors by Dennis, Victory Fuel. We have a discount code, Revved Up 51. You get 10% off your order. I got to thank Brock Morris. He painted this car up for me. Got all my great sponsors on it. Kind of going with the Danica Patrick vibes this year. But Corn Dog Designs, he'll hook you up with a great looking paint. And usually they run up front. So I think there's something to that.
Well, I know it threw me for a loop there. The first race I broadcast with that paint scheme in there. I think I accidentally did call it the GoDaddy machine.
Yeah, it's definitely iconic. So, but hey, it gets eyes on me, so it's on purpose.
You did a great job there tonight, and can't wait to see what you do here the rest of the season. And good luck.
Thank you, sir.
So that was Jacob Wilson, your second place finisher. Now we'll get with Sage Greco. Good evening there, Sage. That definitely had a workout for you to get that win tonight.
Sure did, man. I don't know. Somebody kept throwing them cautions.
Well, do you think the cautions might have saved you or hurt you?
I don't know, man. Honestly, if it was if we had another set of tires and it was like within 10 to go, I think William would have won for sure. So I think normally I'm a little better on the long run, so less cautions the better.
So you want to see less cautions?
Yeah, that's the goal. No, but I mean, even though even though like I could still be better in the long run, it's definitely kind of cool having the cautions. Bunch everybody back up, so everybody's not on an island.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it definitely provided a great broadcast here tonight with the top three there, between you, Wilson, and William, or I'm sorry, you, Sheffield, and William Gay there for a while were battling it out quite hard there for a few laps.
Yeah, I think I think Sheffield, Michael. Hey, me and him were like the only ones running the bottom, and we would catch William on the long run. Since we got to him, caution would come out like 2 times in a row. I think, but yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, you did a great job there coming up through the field. I know here at FMA, most of the series here, the winner of your podium from the previous week has to start towards the back. So, which makes you have to work a little harder because you got to come up through the field each week.
Yeah, it's fun though. I like doing it. We don't have a lot of records, so it's fun being able to race everybody, getting up through there. Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
It gives you an extra challenge too, I think.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on getting that win here again. And you got any sponsor shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
No, sir, I don't.
All righty. Well, great job there, Sage. We'll see you Wednesday night with the Legacy Cup or Legacy Gen 4 series.
Yeah, Rockingham.
All righty. You have yourself a great night there, Sage.
All right, brother.
So that's Sage Greco, your winner here tonight in the FMA Xfinity Series. Thank you all for tuning in to Flieger Farm TV and watching here tonight this episode of On the Pole as we bring it home here from Auto Club. Sage Greco, as we said, your winner. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Have yourself a great night. We'll be back at it here at On the Pole tomorrow night as we take on Coast to Coast for a fun night of racing as we fill in for another broadcaster there on that Monday night. So be sure to keep an eye out for that to go live tomorrow about 10 to 7 Eastern. Again, that is 6:50 tomorrow night. That is Eastern Time PM. So don't be sure to check that out. If you don't find it here at Flieger Farm TV, you can find it over at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thanks again. We'll see you here for FMA once again Wednesday night for the Legacy Gen 4 series. Have yourselves a great, great night.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.